Hi Flosstube, welcome to this video. My name is Anna and I am here to talk about cross stitch. Today is Tuesday, March 1st. I'm coming here a couple days later than planned, but I just got home from work and the sun is setting. You can kind of see a big sunspot here. So I wanted to get this video in before I lost all the light coming from this window. So yeah, February is over. I'm gonna skip over everything that's happening in the world because I can't talk about it. I have just a really quick life update, but it's a significant life update. Then I'm gonna tell you about what I stitched on in February and my plans for March. I don't have any new stuff to show you, but I did find a storage system for magazines. So if you're interested in that at the end, I'll show you what I picked up for that. So yeah, life update. You guys, we are having a baby. It's our first baby. It's a big change. Some of you may have noticed that the last couple months I've been emotional and I haven't stitched a lot because I was feeling really sick. Just a big life change that just keeps on developing. So I will keep you guys posted on any significant changes. For example, I'm moving out of this room into the basement so that we can make room for the baby here. So when I start to do that, you might see me filming in a different place. But yeah, I just wanted to share that news with you guys and explain a little bit of my behavior on YouTube, and also just my lack of stitching in December and January, at least the first part of January. So I'm feeling much better, and we're pretty excited. A little freaked out, but also very excited. This is something that we planned for and tried for, and just feeling optimistic about this life change for us. And yeah, that's it. That's all I wanted to share about with the life update. So it's a big one, but it doesn't really impact the stitching much anymore. Although I do anticipate that once the baby comes, my stitching will be impacted. So anyway, I'll show you what I've been working on in February. I'll start with my full coverage that I started working on. I started this project in February of, 2019. And this is a Heaven and Earth design, and it's Mini Birdsong. The artist is Tatiana Fedorova. And yeah, I wasn't sure I would work on this just cause. But I'm glad that I pulled it out because I got a chance while we were watching the Super Bowl to stitch on it and some other stuff, and I finished a whole diagonal. So, get it out of the sun if I can. So there it is. Hopefully I can show you where it was before. So I did this whole diagonal here, and it was pretty exciting. You know, the first couple hundred stitches were just in this blue area, so that wasn't great. But then we got to the very edge of the first bird. So that's his, the back of his head and his back, down to the tails over here somewhere. So parking these threads got me kind of excited for the next diagonal to keep stitching on this bird. And then there was some more sky through here, and then back to this green vine, and this part down here was a lot of fun because it was just pinks for these berries. So I'm happy with this progress, especially because I wasn't sure that I would stitch on it very much this month. Yeah, I love the colors. It's just so bright and springtimey, and I'm looking forward to having this be my only full coverage so that I can work on it all the time, but I'd like to finish Fright Night first before I do that. So there it is, Mini Birdsong. I think it's pretty. It is kind of muted, the colors, compared with the digital artwork, but I'm hoping that getting into the foreground will brighten it up a bit more. So, yeah, that was my full coverage project. I don't know if I've shared this. I think I have shared this with you guys before, but because there's so many, I keep my flosses in this box and I keep the color key up here. Look how pretty. So, that's that one. Oh, the other one that I had started in February is Rosewood Manor, and it's, let's see if I can, Spring Quakers. This one, I did work on it. It's so fiddly to work on this, and I'll show you what I mean. So let's just pull it out. Still in the hoop. And is this the right way? This is the way. So I am not quite finished with this big motif. I got really close and I thought about pushing. I was like, it's too much. So what still needs to be done, there's like inside of these little gold circles, there's a single blue stitch. So that needs to go here and here, and that same color is in single stitches around here. And so I don't want to carry my thread really far, so it's really just like starting and stopping after one stitch, and I just couldn't do that at the end of the night. There's also some more stitching in the middle of this flower, and then I think it's over here, this part, and then this little part here still needs to be stitched. But it's really close to being finished with this big motif, and you can see there's a couple others there. Then the next one I'm going to do is down here, and it's quite a bit smaller, and it's more like this one where there's a lot of open space. So I'm putting this away for now. I'm happy with my progress. It's just, it doesn't go as far when I spend time on it, just because it's so fiddly, changing the colors out and the threads and all of that. But I still like it a lot. It's still on my whip list. I'm going to enjoy stitching on it for quite a while. This is stitched on the called for Cashel 28 count in Valor. So that is my Spring Quakers. Before I put it away, I'll take the hoop off and all that, and make sure it's stored nicely so I can try to avoid wrinkles, but it's pretty wrinkly. So the other thing that I worked on in February is I finished my Prairie Schooler charts for February, and I got them in their frames. So let's see. Yeah, I'm glad these are done. I changed a couple things. I went with a lighter green. It called for like a really dark foresty green. And then on this one, you can see it in person, but the middle of this rope between the red and the pink is supposed to be white, and I am stitching it on white fabric, so I didn't like that and I tore it out, and it's actually Krynic. I think it's a number 8 braid, and I just used one strand of it full crosses in all these places that should be white, and it's making it really sparkly, though you can't see it here. So yeah, February is over, so I'm going to put these away, and I'm going to pull out the one I have finished for March, and then I have one in progress for March that I'm going to work on in March, so I'll show you that before I'm done here. The other one I worked on a little bit was the hair. It's a Marishka kit. This is the preview. And this one's also in the hoop. But this is where I got to. So I worked fairly certain I just worked through here and maybe down here. So yeah, this one goes pretty quickly. There's just a handful of colors. I think there's 12 colors maybe. And so when I pull a long strand out, it goes pretty far in these shapes. So still liking this one. It does have some backstitch, but it's like strategically placed, like just in parts of the hair and some, I think there's like some butterflies up here that need to be stitched and backstitched still. But yeah, I hope that the camera is picking up the colors. I feel like because the light is so bright, it's really like dimming these like pretty purples and stuff. But yeah, and these are two of my needle minders that I made just with buttons, and I think I used Gorilla Glue, like the fast dry super glue type, and just some magnets I got from Amazon. So that's all I worked on in February. I do think that getting a full diagonal done on Mini Birdsong took up quite a bit of my weekend stitching, which was fine because we were able to watch TV and just sit around and relax. So for March, my plans are to continue working on the hair because I started this in March. I think March of 2021. Yeah, March of 2021 is when I started it. So I'll leave this one out for March. I'll also work on the Prairie Schooler for March that I have. Let's see if it's easily accessible or if it's going to be a hassle to get to it. Don't know where it is right away, but I've got the clovers done for March, and the one I still have to do is a lion and a lamb. So I'm pretty far on that one. I should be able to finish it by the end of March. And if I do finish it, I will also work on January. I ripped out some stitches for January, and I decided on another metallic to use for the snowflake. So now that that's decided, it should go pretty quickly. So I'm definitely working on those two projects. And then in addition to that, since I only have one March start, the one from 2021, I'm going to do a new start. And I'm going to start Peter Rabbit. It's from this book. I'm going to do this one on the cover. And I'll probably start with this one. Although I also want to stitch this one where he's going under the fence. So I've got the floss for this. I'm missing a couple of colors, but they might not even, I don't even know if they're in this particular picture, so I'll just start it and see. I stopped by Joann's and I bought all the floss, and they were missing 3. And I don't have them in my stash. So I'll try to get my hands on those before they're needed in here. It's a relatively small project for me, I think. But we'll see once I get started. And I still have not decided what I want to stitch it on. I know I'm going to do white Aida, but I've got 14, 16, and 18 count. So this has those dimensions for 14 and 18. So I'll just do some calculations for 16 and see if that size works. The 2 patterns I want to do are very different sizes, so I'm not sure that trying to match them in frames is the right idea. But anyway, I'm definitely gonna start this one. I think that's everything. I'm not stitching on anything like new or anything that I have many comments about, other than that Rosewood Manor being finicky. So yeah, that's all of my stitching and all my plans for March. So I just want to share quickly something that I picked up. Now, I did pick this up at an estate sale a while back. This person had a craft room, and they had rows and rows of binders of magazines, of cross-stitch magazines. So I grabbed several binders of them, and the way she had stored them, here's one of the empty binders. And you guys might know about this already, and I just had no clue. These are like magazine holders. So you slide the magazine through here, and it keeps them upright and in order. So what I did is I went through these binders and I sorted them into magazines, things I wanted to stitch, things I wanted to donate, and things that I thought maybe you guys would like or I could try to sell. And really I just sell them so that I can pay for shipping on these giveaways. I don't mind shipping things for the giveaways, but I also want to spend my my allowance on stitching stuff for me. So getting a bunch of magazines that I wanted to keep and then selling a handful will like give me a zero balance, which is always the goal. So anyway, I want to show you what it looked like with the magazines. These are some that I'm going to keep. These are ones I already had, ones that I got from that estate sale that I came across. So these magazine holder things just hold the magazines upright and in order. You can see I also went through and flagged all the things I want to stitch. The idea is that when I go to kit something up, I'll actually use my magazines instead of trying to remember what's in here. So I just thought that was a really neat way to store magazines that I had never seen, because I had never had a reason to keep magazines like this. So I wanted to share that with you guys. I did see that these are available on like office stores or on Amazon. They're called different things. I've seen them called like magazine clips or magazine binder holders. I'm sure there's a specific name for them, but it just escapes me right now. So yeah, that is everything. If you guys have made it this far, I'm going to do a giveaway. I'm going to give away a piece of Aida, and it is 18 counts. Aida from Dying for Cross Stitch. This is something I picked up pre-owned. And you can see it's got, it's like a sky blue or maybe slightly green, and then it's got gray modeling on it. So it's a little extreme for me, but I can see a lot of different things on it, and of course you can just take a little corner of it and then it's not quite so overwhelming if you stitched just something small in the middle here. But it's a lot for me. So I'm going to give it away. If you guys would like to enter to give, to win this, please tell me, oh gosh, tell me, I guess, the first things that grow in your yard or in your neighborhood in springtime. Here in Colorado, or at least the Denver area, I do not have anything growing yet, although I do have some crocuses out front that I expect will be the first to start to like poke up as soon as we're done with hard freezes and such. So yeah, tell me the first thing to grow in your yard or neighborhood. I will try to ship this internationally, but again, I checked last time and I'm still having an issue shipping to Australia and China now. And obviously there will be other disruptions in Europe. So if you're in those countries and you'd like to enter to win, that's fine with me, but I will hold on to your your fabric until I can get it to you. But otherwise, if you're in the US and Canada, it shouldn't be a problem. So yeah, just leave me a comment and I will know that you want to win this 18 count Aida. So that is all. Thank you for letting me share my happy family news and sharing my cross stitch with you guys. And I'm hoping to be back at the end of March with some more progress. So happy stitching. Bye.